Good evening everybody, it's Charlie and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope everyone's had a great Saturday so far. So then guys, it's 2 days before the game, which can only mean one thing. It's time for your predicted 11 ahead of the game against Liverpool on Monday evening under the lights at Elland Road. As I say, just before we get into it, please smash that like button. It really helps me out and it does help get the video out there. Please subscribe to the channel if you're brand new as well and get all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. So yeah, look, this game is a huge game in a lot of ways. Obviously, I think Liverpool are not the beast that they once were. But they are still a team that on their day can obviously cause us an absolute nightmare. I feel like after the 5-1 hammering against Palace, that the players need to bounce back. There needs to be a reaction. And I think whatever the result, if we can just see something positive in the performance, if there's things that we can look at and be encouraged about moving forward, then I think that would be okay. You know, look, I know that Liverpool are not exactly having a great season by their standards, but we're still not expected to get anything against them. So as long as we perform well, if we can nick a point, that'd be great. Obviously, Javi Gracia was speaking about the 5-1 defeat in his press conference yesterday, obviously stating that it was not good enough, and that obviously, as I have just said, the players need to dust themselves off and bounce back. He did mention about injured players. He said Max Verber has been in training, but he'll need to be assessed ahead of Monday night to see if he is fit enough or not. But there are some other players who did play against Palace who haven't trained due to picking up knocks. So I do think changes need to be made. There's definitely two changes that I would 100% make. Well, actually three to the 11 that started against Crystal Palace. So let's just get right into it. In goal, it will be Elland. However, I do feel that the criticism of him recently is valid. I feel like he's not commanding his box enough. His distribution has been pretty poor all season. And I feel like certain goals that Leeds have conceded, yes, it's the defence in front of him that haven't been great either. But I feel like there are definitely some goals that he could have done a lot better. I'm thinking the Garnacho goal against Man United at Elland Road at the near post. I feel like his near post is extremely vulnerable. So, yeah. But obviously, Yo Robles, I wouldn't want him in goal either. So, obviously, it will be Elland Road. But hopefully, you know, he can have a better game and start being a little bit more authoritative in the box. In the back line, then, this is where two of my changes would come. Look, I know both right-backs are exactly great at the minute. However, I would drop Luke Ayling for this game, and I would throw in Rasmus Christensen. The reason being, obviously, I remember at Anfield that night when we beat them, that Rasmus had a decent game from my recollection up against Darwin Núñez, I believe it was. And obviously, Darwin Núñez will most likely be on that side of the pitch on Monday as well. I think Rasmus is slightly better defensively. I'm not saying he's much better, he isn't, but I would maybe trust Rasmus defensively more than Luke Ayling. I think Luke Ayling's better going forward, which is why I think he's been playing a lot of late. But defensively, the guy just can't defend. I think since Brighton at home, where Mitoma absolutely ruined him, I feel like his confidence has been shot to bits, and the guy just cannot defend. So I would start Rasmus at right back in this game. Centre back is where I would make a change as well. I would still stick with Robin Koch, but obviously I'm doing this on the assumption that Max Verber will not play. So in that case, I would drop Pascal Struijk and I would put Liam Cooper in there. And I know what you're thinking. Long-time viewers of this channel know my opinion on Liam Cooper. However, I feel like what we lacked in that Crystal Palace game was experience and a true leader. Like Cooper or not, he is the captain of the football club, so having that bit of authority at the back and experience could hopefully help Robin Koch in this game. Obviously, if Max Verber is fit, I would have Max Verber in there, but I don't think he'll be fit enough, so I'm going to say Liam Cooper. And obviously Junior Firpo at left back, who, didn't have a great game against Palace, but let's be honest, no one did. Apart from that game, I feel like his form's been really good of late, so he thoroughly deserves his place at left back. In the double pivot will remain unchanged for me, Mark Rocker and Weston McKennie. Like I said, they were poor against Palace, but in that Nottingham Forest game, they had their best games in a Leeds United shirt. So let's hope we get that version of them on Monday night. The three in front of them, again, this is where maybe I would... In fact, no, it isn't, because I actually think Brendan Aronson will retain his place under Javi Gracia. He seems to like him, doesn't he? Even though I struggle to see what Brendan really brings to the side at the minute, but Javi seems to like him. So I think the three in behind the striker will remain the same, with Jack Harrison operating from the right, Sinisterra on the left with Brendan in the 10. And then up front is where I would make my final change, and I would drop Patrick Bamford and I would play Rodrigo Moreno. At the end of the day, I know I've said Bamford, he'll ultimately get judged on his goals. But I used to say, it isn't just the goals with Bamford, the link-up play, the hold-up play. But have we really seen that recently from him? Because I haven't. The ball bounces off him. I did feel against Nottingham Forest he had a better game than what most people made out. However, there were still instances in that game where he was getting shrugged off way too easily. He's moaning at the ref a lot recently, which I've noticed as well, which is really starting to annoy me. Like Brendan Aronson does as well. Both annoying, both moaning at the ref all the time. Just get on with it. And at the end of the day, Rodrigo is our top goal scorer with 11 Premier League goals. He needs to be starting. It's as simple as that. Javi needs to figure out a way to play effective football with a different type of striker to Bamford up top. It wouldn't surprise me to see Bamford start in this game, because he'll be up against probably Canate and Van Dijk. But I would still start Rodrigo in this game. I really would. So that would be my 11. Obviously, I know it's predicted 11 where I tried to predict Javi's, but I'll be honest, that should be the lineup. If he starts Bamford, if he starts Elland, and if he starts Strauch, I've been fairly pleased with Javi recently, but if he starts him again, I mean, God, who knows? Who knows, guys? He may think he may keep it the same because of how we played against Forest, but Forest are not Liverpool. It's as simple as that. Like I feel like we need to play our best possible team. The only change that the only other change that I would make as well is like I said, I think Javi will play Brendan Aronson, but just to throw a curveball in there, I would put Nonto in the 10. Either Nonto in the 10, or if he wants to play Bamford, play Rodrigo with him up top. I know we've not seen it a lot, and when we've seen it, it hasn't looked great, but let's see it from the start of a game. Let's give it 50, 60 minutes in a game, and then if it ain't working, we can make a change, but I feel like something needs to change from the Palace game, whether it's personnel, whether it's tactically, formation, whatever. Something needs to change, and hopefully it can help us bounce back from that humiliation against Crystal Palace. But I will bring it to a close for this evening, guys. Really hope that you've enjoyed this evening's predicted 11. I will be live on the channel tomorrow evening from 7 o'clock for your live Liverpool preview, where we will go into it a little bit more detail and everyone can give their thoughts in the live chat. So make sure that you tune in tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. If you've enjoyed this one, please smash that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you're brand new and get all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And I'll see you tomorrow night at 7, guys. Cheers.